Hi, welcome back. Manchester City have just won the treble. Of course, they've just won the Champions League. And they've made history by emulating what Manchester United did, what was widely considered by many as the greatest achievement of a Premier League team ever. And it's been replicated, and worst of all, it's been replicated by their noisy neighbors, as they like to refer to them. And what Manchester City have done, it's being understated, especially with what I've already seen. Of course, I've not seen a lot, but with what I've seen, especially on social media, because we've been having all these allegation charges. But aside from that, and look at the footballing side of things, Pep Guardiola, for me, I think he's the best manager I've ever seen, personally. I don't know if he's the GOAT for the greatest ever manager, but for me personally, he's the best manager I've ever seen. He's matched Sir Alex Ferguson for Champions Leagues as well. He has 3. And Pep Guardiola has taken City to the promised land. It was the cup that they all wanted to win. They've been winning the Premier League. It's become kind of normal for them, but for the Champions League, for them to go on and win it, it's a big achievement. And I think as the days go on and it sinks in what they've just accomplished, people will appreciate just how good this City team are. And I would just like to state that Inter surprised me, actually. I did not expect them to play as well as they did, create as good chances, as many chances as they did, and good chances as well. Lukaku with a horrible miss right at the end of the game could have equalized for Inter easily. Di Marco had another chance as well where Man City, let's just say, they were living on the edge. They got away with a couple of situations that could have easily gone Inter's way. So they rode their luck eventually, and they got there. And if you look at what they've had to do across the whole season to win the treble, it's not been easy. Arsenal led the Premier League for the majority of the season, but they come along and they win it. FA, yes, they scored early, but United are given away back into the game. They still find a way to win the match. Today, the game is not going their way. But credit to Inter Milan and Simone Inzaghi, because he came with a game plan that for the majority of the match stifled Manchester City, stifled Erling Haaland, and even before KDB came off, Inter started very well, pressing Manchester City very high, did not give them time on the ball as many teams would. We expected them to just come and sit back, but for the age of those Inter players and what they really, the way they were pressing, they were very energetic. It surprised me, but could see towards the end of the game, they were very tired as well, because chasing such a good Manchester City side who are very good in keeping the ball, you're going to be chasing the ball a lot. So, of course, you're going to be tired, and losing KDB was not ideal in the 35th minute, but this is Manchester City we are talking about. They bring in, is not equally as good, of course. You miss that aura of KDB, that leadership, the coach on the pitch, as they would say. You miss that, but Foden came in, did the job, did what was required, and could have almost scored as well. So for replacing KDB with Foden, it's not that bad in hindsight if you look at it. And the game as a whole was a very good contest. That's all I can say, because Inter brought their A game. Manchester City definitely did not bring their A game, but talk about coming, showing yourself, and coming through in the biggest of moments. Rodri, he's done that a couple of times for Manchester City. I remember last season, the game against Aston Villa, he was part of that comeback. He scored as well. Today, he scored a very calm, measured goal, but it's just unsavable. He uses the defender he bends it. It's just perfect. It's unsavable. That's all I can say. So for him to do that on the biggest stage, kudos to him. He's the best CDM. Anybody who tries and puts Casemiro on the same league as Rodri at the moment, you don't know what you're saying, and maybe you don't watch enough football as well. Stones playing higher up today, I thought he was playing higher up. I don't know if it's Pep's instructions or what it was, but he's not the best on the upper end of the pitch. He's of course more defensively minded, but he tried, that's all I can say, but it was not the best of games we've seen from Stones. And Akanji as well. Akanji had to come off at some point. He was making a couple of defensive errors that could have cost Manchester City, but it didn't. Maybe it was just City's day. Everything went their way, especially in that final. I think it was written, so kudos to them, but they've had to work hard for it as well. I mean, beating Real Madrid, beating Bayern Munich along the way. People will say that they had to beat Inter, but that Inter side, yes, it's not the best Inter side you've ever seen, but they brought their A game on that final. City still managed to find a way to win. Next season it's going to be hard to stop them, because I'm sure Pep will be wanting to go for another treble as well. So we see what's going to happen. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in, and see you in the next video.